the Ministry of ICT, and other government institutions are trying to sensitize many government agencies to go cloud computing. And will save taxpayers money by doing more with less, fewer computers serving all of us, than creating silo data centers in every government agency. We can have one huge data center with a backup to service all of us, and that data center can be powered by companies like Huawei. So I want to thank Huawei. Thank you very much, Sunrise. Thank you very much, Yang Shenshen, and all of you. Shenshen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kim Karisa. It's very impressive to see that we are all moving in the right direction with a shared, the same kind of thinking, and to see that SMEs can actually spend less while doing much more. Next, we are going to have a panel discussion based on our theme of the day, which is empowering SMEs to innovate and grow. And the moderator of this panel discussion will be none other than Evelyn Amara, who is, yes, you can come please. She'll be the moderator, and joining her on the stage will be Mr. Charles Musisi, Managing Director of Infinity Computers, Madam Fiona Wall, the CEO, League of East African Directors, also Mr. Kenneth Kwesiga, please join us on the stage, the co-founder, CEO of IoTech Limited, and Madam Susan Nsibira. Please welcome them, ladies and gentlemen.
Is it on? Can you hear me? All right. I would like to welcome you again. Thank you so much for being here. I welcome you to the Huawei Cloud Enterprise Innovation and SME Summit. My name is Evelyn Namara, and I'll be your moderator for this session. As has already been talked about, the digital landscape is constantly evolving, and for businesses small and large, making sure that you're staying ahead of the curve is very critical. And I think cloud technology has become one of the key drivers for this digital transformation, offering businesses small and big a powerful tool for innovation and growth. So today's discussion will focus on empowering SMEs, or small and medium enterprises, to leverage the power of cloud solutions. And we have a very distinguished panel of experts here to share their insights and experience. So before we dive in, let me just introduce our panelists, and I will start with Charles Musisi. He is the Managing Director of Infinity Computers and Communications Company Limited, I3C. He set up the very first electronic mail system servers in Uganda way back in the 1990s, and was part of the group of early pioneers, you can call them bridge builders, of the internet on the African continent. Mr. Charles, I must tell you that one of my first jobs was actually being a systems administrator, setting up Linux systems across the country. So we ride on your pioneership, sir. And Charles has also been involved in technology leadership for over 25 years. I will highlight a few of other things Charles has done. He set up and has operated the .ug country code top-level domain, the CCTLD. Charles has also trained and mentored over 500 top IT professionals and engineers, many of whom have had successful careers. I know most of them. He's also instrumental in setting up AFRINIC, which is our continent's regional internet registrar, AFNOG, which is the African Network Operators Group, as well as ICANN. I could go on and on, but that's Charles for you. Charles, we're happy to have you.
Thank you.
And then I'll introduce Fiona Hall. Fiona is a lawyer and government expert who has served in both public and multinational companies and the private sector. She is the immediate past president of the Uganda Law Society and a director with the East African Business Council. Fiona also currently serves as the CEO, League of East Africa Directors, LEAD, and also owns a commercial and construction law practice called Nabasa and Companies Advocates. Please welcome Fiona. And then I'll introduce Kenneth Kwesiga, who is the co-founder and CEO of Iotech Limited, a financial technology company licensed and regulated by the Central Bank of Uganda to build secure financial technology solutions that bring services closer to individuals and businesses through intuitive digital channels. In his past roles, he has been exposed to leading and coordinating global teams, working on technology-led projects in several diverse sectors, such as investment banking, insurance, microcredit, and financial technology. Please welcome Kenneth. And last but definitely not least, I will introduce Susan Nsibirwa. Ms. Susan is the Managing Director for Nation Media Group, Uganda. The job that she took effect on 2nd January 2024. Congratulations, Susan. The role reports to the Group CEO with a dotted reporting line to Monitor Publications Limited Group, the board chairman. She's responsible for leading Monitor Publications Limited, that's the Daily Monitor, KFM, and Dembe FM, the East African Broadcasting Uganda Limited, which includes NTV Uganda and Spark TV, the Nation Couriers to deliver their long-term strategy, business plans, annual performance targets to maximize value for the shareholders. Please welcome Susan. All right, so over the next 20 or so minutes, our panelists will discuss the challenges and opportunities surrounding cloud adoption for SMEs, and we'll explore some specific benefits offered by Huawei Cloud and share some valuable insights. So I'm confident this session will give us an inspiring look on, where cloud can take us, and for those of us who are aspiring to have our services on cloud, I hope this will be a starting point for you to have this discussion with Huawei. So without further ado, I will start with you, Charles. From your vast experience with the Ugandan technology sector, what are some of the challenges that you see SMEs have in adopting cloud technology?
Thank you, Evelyn, and thank you, Huawei, for this invitation. And I'm glad to be on this panel of some good friends, people I know very well. Yeah. Now, to respond to your question regarding some of what are perceived to be challenges for SMEs mainly in acquisition of cloud. Foremost, actually, that comes to mind is usually the perception about the cost. It's down to the connectivity, because when you take your workload from your computer and have it over in the cloud, you need to have internet data to access that. So that appears to be a barrier. The other one is the cost of data migration, because you're actually taking your data from your local environment up to in the cloud. In order to do that, you would require, one, obviously the skills to do that. There's a little bit of a shortage of that in the market, but that's being addressed. But also there is an implied cost for doing that. Those are some of the challenges that come to mind immediately.
Thank you so much, Charles. And what are some of the unique advantages you see Huawei Cloud offering some of the SMEs, given the challenges that you've spoken about?
Yes, and again, Huawei, I must really thank you and congratulate you for having taken the first brave step in a market like ours. Obviously, that's just adopting a very, cutting-edge technology like this. One of these is obviously Huawei has a lot of advantages in a market like this one. One of them is local presence. Unlike a lot of the other big comparable clouds, Huawei has a local presence. So and Huawei has also deliberately gotten itself involved in addressing the skills gap through various enabling workshops, technical boot camps, and so forth. That Huawei has provided. And apart from that, I can tell you, Huawei's costing for cloud service is very competitive. And a clear example, you saw Cyber. I'm happy that we kind of it'll be part of the journey that has enabled Huawei to support Cyber, IoTech, and the others. So Huawei has those clear advantages: accessibility, local presence, and I can tell you that is that's going to be a game changer. Thank you, Evelyn.
Thank you so much, Charles. So, Fiona, I'd like to come to you, and thinking about cloud and everything that has been spoken about, compliance is such a big thing. What are some of the legal and regulatory considerations that SMEs should have as they think about adopting cloud?
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here. Thank you to Huawei, our honored guests. And a beautiful moderator. Can we give a big hand clap for being very African? Yes. Well, first of all, SMEs contribute the largest chunk to our GDP from private sector. About 80% of private sector GDP comes from SMEs. And they say that 75% of our economy is informal. And you find that this very important sector suffers from issues of scalability, sustainability. It suffers from issues, they say that they don't see their fifth or second, even first birthdays. And these problems come from them not being able to formalize early. Now, technology gives you the opportunity to do so much, as Mr. Karisa was talking about, the scaling up and being able to do so much with so little. And it's also sustainable, it's clean in the era of ESG. I mean, we don't have to use paper. But when you come to what are the legal considerations, one of the challenges with using technology is security. And I was seated with one of the people in security in ICT. And this challenge is, first of all SMEs need data, need customer data. You are using clients' picture. Today they're going to take photos, they're going to put them on social media. So anybody can, okay, I'll not put Huawei in trouble, but so the aspect of data, people's data, and how you secure it is a big challenge. And they need to take that into consideration. The second thing is protecting intellectual property. People have very brilliant examples, brilliant innovations, and want to thank Huawei for the SMEs they're supporting. But if you don't have trademarks or copyrights for your designs, that's going to really destroy you, because you're not going to be able to protect your intellectual property. Now, when we look at Google and Facebook and what they're doing, for instance, in Kenya, they'll get all these young people and everybody's coding, right? And we have all these innovation hubs and everybody's coding. Then they'll say, oh, we're running a campaign. Somebody will say, we're running a campaign. We'll give you $20,000. They'll pick 4 winners out of 6,000 entrants. But everybody brought a prototype. Do you understand what I mean? nobody signed a non-disclosure agreement. And there's no telling that this big company will not take that technological innovation and use it. So we need to protect intellectual property. It's very important. We also need to look at aspects of sustainability. When it comes to running SMEs, most of the SMEs that I have worked with use social media as a marketing tool. Below the line marketing that the MTNs of this world use and the nation media groups, as they look at it as a small percentage of their marketing budget, but for SMEs it's 100% of their marketing budget and their marketing strategy. Now the risk with this is the payment platforms, and I mean, if you all understand the challenges of paying with PayPal and some of these payment platforms on accessing these tools. The second thing is your data. Somebody took over. Right now I'm suffering a data crisis because somebody took over my personal Facebook page. I have no access. I have written, but hey. So if I was making business on that page, it would be terrible. So we need to understand the threats that come with the strategies that we're using as we embrace technology. The other thing is infrastructure. If you're using cloud computing, which is fantastic, what are the laws that govern the agreements you're signing? We have very fantastic data protection laws in Uganda, but most of the small print everybody is signing on for cloud computing and other services are actually done under other countries' laws that we have no idea about. So it's very interesting as companies like Huawei support SMEs that they should also educate them on the importance of the jurisdiction. If there is a dispute, if my data is taken, we see Jumia, we see Gigi, they have so much data, but if somebody were to hack them, or if their cloud, if they had a disagreement with whoever is keeping their data, what would happen? Who would solve that dispute? Would they have to go to Singapore? Would they have to go to... So SMEs, in my opinion, we need to plan to do what they call resilience planning and think for the future and think about... I mean, COVID took us over, but certain people had thought about COVID. So we need to think about, as we grow our SMEs, as we encourage them to take on cloud computing services, what are those threats they should anticipate? Even as they formalize, what should they protect? Right now, half the things that we're doing, actually half the technology that is being designed, there's already source code that was designed years and years ago, and people are still making money from it. Now, cyber, I don't know whether they have the IP, what you designed, whether they have the copyright, because somebody in East Africa, in Nairobi, in Tanzania, might want to use your technology. Will they have to pay for it? Have you protected it in those countries? These are the considerations we always have to take into account.
Thank you very much, Fiona. Very, very comprehensive there. And I believe the SMEs in the room are taking note of some of these. I'd like to come to Kenneth. Kenneth, you're one of the SMEs that are using Huawei Cloud services. From your perspectives, what are some of the things that you've seen work well with Huawei Cloud, especially in helping your company go to different levels of innovation and growth?
Thank you, Evelyn. Good morning to everyone. My name is Kenneth. I am the CEO at IoTech. But today I also sit here in the capacity of a board member for the FITSPA Association, and that's the Association of Financial Inclusion Technology Service Providers. My bosses are in the room, so I needed to make sure that I mentioned that. Thank you for being in the room, and thank you for being here. The association is very, very important because it represents the interests of all the startups that we are talking about here and the benefits that they can get from the Huawei Cloud. So yes, back to IoTech Limited. We're a business-to-business financial technology company, and we serve mostly credit providers. These are microfinances, money lenders. And the reason we are doing that is we provide them technology. These are businesses that are providing financial services, and that is what they know how to provide, right? But then the customers they are serving are now digital. They are on the phones, meaning that these businesses need to now move towards digitization. Now, digitization is not their business. It's not their core. They're not going to start investing in building technology. So we provide them a platform that gives them 3 core services. That's a payment gateway, verification service to verify their KYC information. Fiona is talking about data. And then we also give them third service that allows them to also check with the CRBs and report data, the CRBs. So that's, in a nutshell, that's what we do. As a 4-year-old startup, there's no way we would have been able to provide such a unified platform without the support of cloud computing from Huawei. And the reason I state that is because innovation alone cannot exist by itself. It has to be empowered. It has to be empowered by partnerships that can allow you to reduce your cost. Right? Now, I'll give an example that I'll actually pick up from what Keen had mentioned. If we go back into the business arena in our country right now, downtown, yeah? I am a shop owner who is vending phones. But as every shop you see down there has storage in the back somewhere. So imagine a situation where with my small business, I'm selling phones, but the person who owns storage is telling me that he only sells storage as big as this, meaning that I have to pay for this entire space to keep my small stock. Business will fail completely. I can't start because already I'm cut at the knees. I can't afford this entire storage. So what Huawei is basically doing is stating that instead of paying for this entire space, only pay for the space that you're using as a phone owner so that I can keep my phones safe, and then whenever I need them, I can pick them and bring them to the shop. But by doing that, I also don't have to invest in a security guard, in big doors and padlocks, because all these have already been taken care of. That's what we are basically benefiting as startups, right? So we are saying that, and I'll give a very keen example. I think in our first year, we were very fortunate to sign a contract with a very prominent, South African-based company, and they were very critical. They wanted to know where their data is going to reside. They wanted to make sure we have disaster recovery. They wanted to make sure we have a server that is promising 99.9% uptime. I think these are the figures we all put in our SLAs. And we, of course, did not have the operational capacity to be able to buy our own servers, right? But we basically partnered with Huawei. They came in very handy in that moment in time, and that partnership helped us actually meet all the requirements that the client needed. We talked about data residence. Huawei is actually able to give you servers that reside in South Africa, which basically now aligns with the data privacy laws that we are having here, because then it means your data is within the African region. So by doing that, we basically met the client's expectations. We had a server that is put up straight up, and we're able to serve our client in a very, very short time. So really, to summarize the question is helping any startup. Most of the problems a startup is going to have is infrastructure cost and setup cost. But if we get innovators to actually start having these partnerships that help us to reduce the cost of operations, that will get so many innovations to see the light of day, which was not there before, because many times you have a very innovative product, but the cost of starting becomes too high that you're not able to even start at all. So cloud computing definitely comes in handy, and it helps us get these innovations there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kenneth. Very comprehensive there. And I would like to come to you, Susan. I know Keen alluded to some of the benefits that cloud has done in the media industry. With your extensive experience in this industry, how do you see cloud helping the media industry, and especially the SMEs who are also starting some work within the media. How do you see this huge opportunity for the media industry?
Thank you, Evelyn. And thanks again, Huawei, for this opportunity to talk about media in a totally different light. Yes, a lot has been said about the advantages of cloud computing and cloud technologies. And one of the biggest advantages, I think, for us is really just in terms of content development, content production, content storage, because we see ourselves increasingly as a content company. So how we develop our content, how we manage it, how we store it. For example, if Daily Monitor is 32 years old, and yet we want to keep archives of every single newspaper that has ever been produced by the Daily Monitor, how do we store that information? Imagine how many heaps of newspapers that you need for over 32 years, every single day, a copy of the newspaper. Where do you keep such information? Obviously, you need cloud technologies to be able to store that information, but not only just to store it, but also to access it, so that at the click of a button, I can just ask for Daily Monitor of January the 2nd, 1990. At the click of a button, you can be able to access that newspaper because it has been archived properly using cloud technologies. Obviously, then, as a media house with several hundred employees, you've got field correspondents, you've got reporters, how we are able to work in real time together. Obviously, then, cloud technology makes that. If you're reporting from Kasese, if you're reporting from Gulu, in terms of being able to access the information in real time, and collaboration as well across the different departments. And so in terms of our processes just being improved is very crucial for that, allowing people flexi time so that you don't have to come into the office, you can work from wherever you are, submit your content from wherever you are. All this is enabled by cloud technologies. But then, of course, the security of that data, because you find that whether it's the email services or just even our immense archives, just being able to know that that data is secure. And I think it was Mr. Wang who presented the whole aspect of AI and AI enablement. As AI increasingly, we use AI technologies increasingly in the newsroom, obviously we are going to need increasingly the use of cloud technologies for that. So my friend Kin mentioned the disaster recovery, business continuity. For us to be able to continue business, COVID was the big tester on that. How do you produce a newspaper when all of you are not in the office? How do you make sure that the newspaper is produced? How do you make sure that you produce news content? How do you keep the TVs, stations and the radios running when you're not in office and you're all stuck at home? So business continuity, disaster recovery. We have operations across the region, and to be able to work seamlessly across the region with our HQ in Nairobi, operations in Tanzania, we can't do that unless we're using cloud technology. So immense benefits for us, scalability, security, and then of course just being able to distribute our content, and which is made a lot easier again using cloud technologies. Thank you, Evelyn.
Thank you so much. And I'm also confident that we don't have a lot of time, but I always hate panels where we speak to ourselves and then not open up to the audience. So I'd just love to hear maybe 2 or 3 questions from anyone who might want. You've had the panel of experts speak about cloud in so many different areas. So if there's 1 question or 2 that you really want to pose to them, please, this is your time. Do you have microphones going around? Anyone with a question? Comment? That either means everyone has totally understood the content, or thank you so much, or bored, stiff bored.
Thank you very much, Madam Moderator, and I would like to thank our panelists. Well, he brought it out very clearly that when he met a politician and was talking about cloud Huawei,
Yeah.
Somebody asked him, what is that? I've equally listened in, and that's why maybe we're not having questions from the audience. These are small, medium enterprises. You are telling them to go digital, do computing worldwide. We have not received any insight of a small enterprise. The real benefits of a small enterprise in going worldwide in the cloud. What are the risks? How can I promote my business if I'm there? This is the whole issue, to come down to the ground, because I can see a cloud in the air. But these people are down on the ground. Somebody is doing his business. It's a small enterprise. It's medium. How am I going to benefit from this program to ensure that I increase my sales? That's what we want to look at. Increase my sales. How do I produce based on market availability? And how much do I? This is what I'm looking at now. As Sam now exposed the politician 5 minutes ago. Thank you.
That's a very good question. Thank you so much for bringing that up. And I will just, okay. Ken Kalisa has a question.
Thank you, Evelyn. Honorable Minister, I thought I would say this before the experts come in. What Huawei has done to these businesses, I don't want to call them small and medium, because small and medium is relative. Huawei is big. When you talk about our biggest companies here, they become now very small relative to those big companies. So these businesses in Uganda, what Huawei is providing, I believe, is to give them capabilities to work and compete as if they've invested $100 million. To invest in a very good data center, you need more than $1 million. Very few companies in Uganda can put $1 million in a data center. To provide cooling, that is AC, stable power, generator, umeme, and others, and the servers and the computers that are needed. But at $500 or $200 or even $100 a month, you can get services relatively similar to the one who has invested $100 million or $1 million. That's what they are providing. That so many people have put together money to make sure that they are supported by someone who has built an infrastructure to support in your small way. So we don't need to have buildings, because most of these companies are renting. If they are renting a space where they are sitting, they might not have extra money to rent where they'll put a data center, or what we call a server room. A server room is a mini data center. So they are saying, let us invest for you. You pay the little you have. We give you services that will make you compete as if you invested $1 million. I don't know if I've... Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ken. Right, Honorable.
Thank you so much. It is because of what Mr. Kalisa has just explained that I also want to ask. Why are we targeting SMEs? He said, as if you have invested $1 million, meaning the people who have smaller businesses, though he said we should not call them like that, but these ones who have smaller businesses should be, they're the ones we are targeting. Should we say the people who are above this team, they don't need this? Thank you.
All right, thanks so much for the questions. I will let Susan take it first.
Thank you. Before I took up this job, I was a small business owner. And I'll say small is relative. But, but just to answer your question, many business owners are already using cloud computing, but they don't know that they're using it. Email services are cloud computing. When you store e-commerce, when you're using Gigi, when you're using Jumia, those are, and the different platforms where you're selling cars. If you go online right now, all those people who are selling cars, selling property, selling land, selling houses, all that is, they're already using cloud computing, although maybe that's not, as long as you're doing e-commerce, but they don't know that that's what they're using. And again, the beauty about it is that the benefit, which I will talk about here for as a smaller business owner, is you're sharing services. So the cost for you comes down. You can access computing services, accounting software, bookkeeping, everything that allows you to run your business more efficiently, but at a much lower cost. So people are already doing this. Maybe the word cloud is what they don't know that they're doing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Let's go to Kenneth first, and then we'll come back to Fiona.
Thanks. So, I mean, all that they have said is definitely agree with it. I just want to complement with an example to that. And exactly what Mr. Kin Karisa has mentioned. So, going back to the example I'd given earlier, the small shop person who has phones, all he needs is space to keep his phones, right? Now, if I bring it back to the banking industry, in traditional IT, a bank is already a big organization. So for them, they could afford to even buy a server worth $1 million, even if they're not going to use its entire capacity. Because back then also, they did that because the person who was selling them the servers was selling them in that capacity. He was only selling a whole server like that, and you have to buy it. Whether you're going to use all of it or not, that is how the person is selling. So the big organizations had the capacity to do that, purchase it, put it there, and use only 20% of it. And maybe wait for a period where they have high volume, high traffic. Like, for example, seasonal periods, Christmas or whatever, when people are shopping, then the server they are bought can then be used up to, let's say, 80%. But in that situation, the fintechs who are also providing the same financial services were being left out. It basically means because you're small, you don't have the muscle, the financial muscle to buy an entire server, you simply can't start now. You can't do that business. But why we are focusing, or why the focus is on the small, medium enterprises now, is more from a point of information. They are now informing them and giving them sensitization that, by the way, you can now be able to do these services because you no longer need to buy an entire server. You only pay for what you use. Just start with what you have. If your capacity is just to consume 10%, pay for 10%. As your business keeps growing, you now keep paying for what you're using. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Fiona?
Thank you so much. Just to add, the whole essence of focusing on MSMEs and is to make sure that nobody is left behind, because we're already living in an era of technology. In Uganda, your business does not exist unless it has a birth certificate from URSB, right? And you can only access that these days online. Your birth doesn't exist. I saw Nita here, unless it's, is it Nira? Yes, Nira. Unless you have a it's like a digital birth certificate. When you go to the bank now to open an account, they'll ask for your national ID, the original. Why? Because there's that barcode that has to be scanned. Now it's you can no longer just take a photocopy of your ID and it is enough. So the small business person needs to operate in an ecosystem that is already digital. But in order to operate like that, they need big tools, the tools that everybody here is describing. So it's like saying that we have Nakumat or these big supermarkets, and they're competing with someone who wants to sell tomatoes. So if Nakawa Market gives a stall for your tomatoes, that's what companies like Huawei are doing for the SMEs. Now, the other thing we also need to look at is the other services. You cannot pay taxes unless you have certain things. These days, even basic supermarkets have to have that to access EFRIS. You cannot, if you're not registered if you're registered for tax, NSSF has to also plug in there. So there's a legal system that requires everybody that is operating in the business environment to get digital. These days, everybody's using mobile phones for business. So you already have a digital footprint in Uganda, whether you like it or you don't. The issue is, how do you thrive on it? How do we make these businesses sustainable? And that means their costs should be manageable. How do we make them scalable? How do we help them access markets? I have a lot of SMEs that I've worked with who now access markets across borders because there's something called ISOCO that the East African Business Council has launched. It's a platform for traders, you know, and through this people are able to get joint ventures. So sometimes just even having a digital footprint will give you access to markets, access to the partners that everybody was talking about, but also access to technology. There's a lot of things that are happening right now that if Huawei hadn't come into the market and introduced, we wouldn't know about. Yet to other countries and other nations, this is already normal. So the thing I would say is, technology is becoming the lifeblood for business, and we cannot leave the MSMEs behind.
Yeah. Just before I get one more, I think the Right Honourable spoke about something very, very key, and those are the risks. Most people want to know, if my server is out there, what are some of those risks that they should be aware of? Charles, could you speak to the risks aspect?
Sure. I think it's been fairly brought out as a challenge by many people, many the panelists here as well, about the fact that when your data is out of your physical reach, it's out there in in cyberspace. Whereas there could be a risk about you losing your data, which could also have happened if, say, you had your data on your localized device. The emerging technologies of the cloud have been deliberately set up to provide backup and restoration. So that in itself. Then the other risks that are commonplace in the computing environment, you'd all be aware, viruses and all these kind of things that you keep on hearing about. I'll tell you that a lot of the applications that are resident in cloud clearly have addressed a lot of those issues. There's a lot less prevalence of those kind of hindrances to a safe computing environment. the other obvious things that come to mind, and again, someone has pointed out, you're all going cloud. You're on the cloud, common application, WhatsApp, and all those are already in cloud. You've already been enrolled to cloud. These days, it's almost unthinkable if you're still using old style, the kind of system that I first set up a long time ago, store and forward. These emails are a lot more reliable, and email is right now a very important means of communication, especially in the legal environment. URA sends a notification using that. So businesses ought to really have a very, very reliable email service. I think the Honourable Minister then had also asked about, pinpointedly, how can small businesses really benefit? It's been talked about different ways, but once you're in the cloud, you've got to flip it, because right now we're preaching mostly about you being consumers of cloud. But once in the cloud, and you've enabled for yourself, any business ought to take some of their core functionality in the day-to-day running of their business. It could be the accounting function on the cloud. A business should go e-commerce by building small little websites onto which they can conduct their business and reach a wider market. Broadly, you could also say there are other ways you can the cost of the unit cost of ownership, and I think Kane has very clearly explained that. The unit cost of ownership of what, if a business critically look, they previously fully paid the full cost of having the computing device in their hands, but right now you only pay a portion of what you use, and almost in a time-shared way. You only pay, there are now mechanisms in which you could be billed for only the time you use it. Thank you.
One more question.
Hello. So my name is Alan Zinga. I'm from MTN Uganda. So my question is, before I get into my question, I just wanted to share some bit of clarity. So cloud, I'm not sure if everyone understands what cloud is, but it's more of a remote data center that you access through the internet. So that service provider has different services that they offer in their data center, and you pay a portion to use those services. So that is just what cloud is. So my question is towards Mr. Kenneth, and Fiona, feel free to join in. So because you are representing FITSPA, how are you complying to the compliance that Fiona was talking about? Compliance in terms of data residency, compliance towards PI, personal identifiable information on the public or remote data centers. How are you complying to that?
Thank you. So FITSPA as an association is, our mandate is more inclined towards advocacy. So we are an association of member companies, mostly in the financial technology sector. And our role there really is more on advocating for good policy, communicating to these organizations so that we can help them and encourage them to be compliant, right? So we are not compliant on their behalf. We simply encourage them and move them towards ensuring that they're compliant with all the laws that regulate them. So there, what we really do is create synergies, learn about Huawei Cloud and be able to present it to the members and say, oh, there's this platform, there's this partnership that you can actually leverage to be able to have your servers on the cloud because they also meet the data protection laws. It's good that we have the DPO and Anita also in this room. So we do this through workshops where we bring the different organizations together in one room, and we sensitize and inform the member companies that there's this regulation you have to be compliant with. There is this partner that who is providing this service, and then we make sure that all the questions are answered. So that's the work we do, and we try to also keep, live communications, keep reminding these companies and say, please be compliant with these laws, there's these deadlines coming up. So really our work is mostly on advocating, sensitization, and creating all forms of synergies to be able to meet the requirements. Thank you.
Thank you for that question. I think when it comes to compliance, that's another advantage that big cloud computing companies provide. Why? They are already accountable to international laws on data protection and data integrity. So when you use a cloud computing service from Huawei and you're a small and there's a lot you don't have to worry about when it comes to compliance. That's why Kenneth was able to qualify to his investor because he was using a tried and tested thing. Because they say that the more you have, the more that is required of you. So you find that Huawei Technologies probably has a higher standard of compliance than ordinary smaller cloud computing services. So because of that, when you plug into such a service, there's already a lot of compliance loopholes you do not have to go through. So that's a big advantage for the MSME. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for being very engaging. I think for me, I can't even add anything to dilute what the speakers have said. They were really very comprehensive. Thank you so much. I hope you've learned a thing or two about Huawei Cloud Enterprises. I think for me, one thing that Mr. Sunshine said in the beginning was leave no one behind. As SMEs, they need a fighting chance, and ensuring that no one is left behind in this world that is constantly being digitized is a way to go. And I think cloud is one of the key stepping steps to getting us there. So thanks, everyone. Can you please give a round of applause to our panelists? Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Evelyn, Namara, and the panelists. Let's give them a round of applause as they get off the stage. Let's take off the chairs. So what we have now next, let's watch a brief video, and as we prepare for our special guests to prepare for their speeches. So please, let's have the video.
My name is Evelyn Namara, and I'm the founder of Vouch. I went to Makerere University, did computer science, and I've been working in the field since then. My inspiration for starting Vouch was really met by looking at a lot of challenges that we see in society. And I wanted to build a platform that would really bring in the transparency and traceability of systems, and I believed that technology would be that avenue for me to do that. My experience with working with farmers is that most of them need simple tools to actually make their work much better. So us coming in with a platform that would help them either receive their entitlements in time or be able to receive the money that they're entitled in time, plant their crops in time, be able to use farming equipment in time. So the very first award that we received was the ICT for Development Award. It was sponsored by Huawei, and it helped us get more partners on board and really advance the work that we are doing today. Where I see myself in the future is expanding our borders beyond Uganda. We'll be able to go to Kenya, we'll be able to go to neighboring countries and advancing our platform to different countries. Where I see Uganda right now is it's really opening up. Most of people now know the value of technology. So I see Uganda heading into a place where they're using technologies in different sectors, whether it's healthcare or agriculture or all of the other sectors. They're going to be powered by technology because there's no other way. We are not going back. I feel excited excited about where I am with everything that we've achieved at Vouch, but also personally, I feel a sense of accomplishment being a woman in technology and knowing that I can inspire more girls coming after me to run after their dreams and do it really well. I believe that the world is an open slate and everyone has a chance to prosper. So they can keep at it and they will prosper.
Thank you very much. I hope you were able to see that the person that was on your screen in front was our moderator, Evelyn Namara. Let's give her another round of applause. Thank you very much. Right now, we would like to invite the Minister of Trade in charge of cooperatives. That's Honorable Gume Frederick Ngobi. May we please give him a round of applause as he gets up to give his remarks. Thank you very much.
Carissa, protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen, and dear participants. It is a very important day for us when we receive an opportunity to interface with the Huawei cloud enterprise. I came in this room imagining what the cloud was. I am now an authority to you, entrepreneurs of this country. We are in an effort to digitalize. And in government, we are calling it Digital 2040. Everybody should be digitalized. Time is gone for human contacts. But time is now around for us to use such opportunities in order to grow our enterprises. I know we all use technology, but we are not aware we are paying for it in a certain circumstance. Today we have an opportunity where we have a shared cost. And this is a very big opportunity for all of us, especially the medium, small enterprises. You are critical because you employ many of the people, but you also pay a lot of taxes. But this is an effort to try to develop you also. The first one I've realized is to reduce the costs of operation. Because now, with the Huawei cloud enterprise, you are going to pay for particularly what you use. You are going to subscribe and pay for a small unit of your consumption. We are no longer now producing for the country. We are producing for the whole world. You are aware this country is in the East African community. So from Uganda, of maybe 40 million people, you go to the East African community with about a population of 120 million. You go to the African Continental Free Trade Area, the whole of Africa, and the whole of the world. What does this entail now? It entails you to be on the lookout of how your business is performing, on the lookout of how you can promote what you produce, and also to reduce on your costs. For example, if you wanted an input, you don't need to travel to Dubai or to China. You use internet to access where you can bring in an input, and then also look at where you can sell your product. So, it is a big opportunity because you produce what is on market. There are fears into the unknown, and we have a very big responsibility, starting with you, to go to the communities and inform them. Forget these statements by these big people here who are very versed with the cloud. For us, let's tell people that we need to go digital. When you are digitalized, you can reduce the costs of your operating your business. You have access to the whole market arena. But what also must safeguard our people need to know, I'm advancing into the unknown. So give them that safety. We must tell them that, one, your data will be secure. But above all, you can be assessed to access credit using your operations without you necessarily going to the bank, come tomorrow, come the other day. They look at your performance and be able to support you. This is an opportunity for the younger men and women, the younger generations who are coming out of school. Let's use this opportunity. You can do business from home. You don't need to travel to Kampala to have a big shop to set up an enterprise. You can do it from home, and you also can grow big. The other area is theft of data. How is my data secure? But even if then people fear competition. Somebody is doing his business and he doesn't want to expose how he does his business. We have had the traders talk about taxation by URA. If you are doing a transparent business, you can be monitored and you can pay your taxes according to your business, and you'll be able to defend yourself in areas where you've taxed. These are the areas we are looking at. In Uganda, especially if I can talk about lastly, if I can talk about the cooperative sector. The cooperative sector is grouped under the middle enterprises, small middle entrepreneurships. We have 45,000 cooperatives. I want you to take that example. 45,000 with about 13 million people. They are in groups doing business. But they must compete with these other establishments. But they are supervised by the Ministry of Trade. But the Ministry of Trade has about 20 people to supervise 13 million people. Are you registered? Have you filed your returns? The best way to go is here now. As a ministry, we have also started digitalizing the cooperatives. You don't need to travel from Kapchora to come and register with the Register of Cooperatives, to bring your returns. We only need to monitor you from here and be able to offer you services, assist you where you are lacking, and be able to monitor and supervise you and guide you in your enterprises. So I would like to congratulate Huawei, Cloud Enterprise Innovation. This is an innovation where you pay for what you use. Everybody is using, even me before I came, and my colleague here was telling me that a politician was asking him. Little did I know that even as you're on WhatsApp, you are paying for the service. But this is now a group of people who are coming to say, pay particularly that small aspect you use. Now, when you pay for the small aspect you use, you have reduced your costs of production and operations, and therefore you're able to compete with the rest of the world because your product will have been produced at a cheaper level, like or in the same way with the others. Thank you very much, Huawei, and we want to congratulate you, and we want to give you our support, that we will move with you. It will take us a lot of efforts to go up country to tell the people, actually, they are digitalized, they are using the platforms, but they are not aware. So we are now your mouthpiece. We want to thank you so much to have inaugurated us into this also and have given us an opportunity to be part of this very important innovation. Thank you very much, and I'm sure in this room, it's only me with the capacity to invite the Right Honorable Third Deputy Prime Minister. I don't know whether there is a function or I invite her now. There is one more function before I take the opportunity to come and invite you. Thank you for coming. Good luck and all the best.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Gume Frederick. Right after this, we are going to have a video of one of the SMEs, a testimonial video. But as we watch the video, I have a box with me. DJ, please hold me. As we watch the video, I have a box with me. When you are getting into the hall, they gave you a number. Those were actually raffle draw numbers. So we're going to have 2 lucky winners, and we're going to have the Right Honorable Rukia to pick one number, and Honorable Gume Frederick to also pick another number. But we will announce after the video is done. So DJ, you can now play the video.
Over 8 years, and I've worked with companies outside of Uganda. No, and my thing was always, if these other companies in Europe and the US can do this, why can't we bring all this skill set back home and build a company here with the skills that we have learned? The IoT platform is targeted towards financial service providers. Most financial service providers were either having so many manual processes, or they were using fragmented systems to provide financial services to their customers. So IoT platform basically comes in to have a unified platform these financial service providers can use to identify the identity of their customers, validate the creditworthiness of their customers, and also disburse loans and also receive payments for these loans, all under one platform. We've encountered quite a number of challenges. The first one was being able to pay for the cloud infrastructure that is required to run our businesses. So we got a number of partners that have helped us to circumvent that problem. Huawei has been a good partner for us. They provided us free credits to enable us to run our platform. We are building 4 products at the same time. Them partnering with us was really, really, really helpful. They provide engineers who are readily available to help startups minimize your spend on the services. Right now, we have over 200 businesses using our systems, either one of the products or all of the products. And most of the customers who are coming to us were like, I want to use a payments platform, but I also want to be able to stay in close communication with our customers. So having these businesses use almost all our products at the same time, that has been a very good achievement for us as a company. Our vision is to provide accessible and convenient financial services for every Ugandan citizen. We understand our problems better, and we can design systems for our economy and for this environment better.
A round of applause for IoT. Thank you. So we will have our winners announced for our lucky draw. You can announce the number that you picked. Yes, just announce the number.
Number 46.
So number 46 and...
number 30.
Number 30 and number 46. Since this is a gift from Huawei, we would invite Mr. Sunrise to award this.
It wasn't free.
Oh, and the second one was number 30. Number 30, who had number 30? Oh, you're welcome. from NITA. You're welcome. Mr. Sunrise again, please. Please go. Sama, can you invite the honor? Oh, yeah, do.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Sunrise. Thank you very much to the Right Honorable and Honorable Gume for selecting these lucky winners for the day. I would like to invite Honorable Gume Frederick once again to the platform. When we reverse protocol, I cannot invite the Right Honorable. So it is only right that Honorable Gume invites the chief guest for the day, as we also prepare for the launch of the Huawei Cloud Startup Program, which we'll prepare for immediately after her remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies. The Right Honorable Deputy Third Prime Minister, Honorable Lukia Nakadama, may I take this opportunity to kindly invite you to come and address the congregation. Thank you.
I thank you, Honorable Gume, my brother who is in charge of cooperatives, the MD, Mr. Sunrise, our regional director who is here with us. I don't know whether this region or the other bigger region. Wow. The CEO, Next Media, Haji Kalisa. I will say protocol observed because there are many big dignitaries here. So I will say protocol observed. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm deeply honored on behalf of the government of the Republic of Uganda to be part of the Huawei Cloud Enterprise Innovation and SME Summit in Uganda under the theme, Empowering Startups to Innovate and Grow. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Huawei Technologies, Uganda, for inviting me and the warm welcome you have extended to me. I also want to thank the leadership of Huawei. This is mainly Mr. Gao Jian, the deputy director, the deputy managing director, hope he's the one, for spearheading the organization of this summit. I was with him, we talked, I gave him this date, not knowing that maybe I'll be around or not. You know, for us, when you plan a program, you say, God willing. So I was not here yesterday. I came back last night. So I thank him, though I'm not seeing him around, for organizing this summit. The Uganda government, through its Ministry of ICT, is pushing forward with the Digital Uganda Vision 2040 to transform the country digitally. This initiative emphasizes the role of digital transformation in creating jobs, stimulating innovation, and boosting economic growth, particularly for SMEs, and digital technologies are essential for SMEs to stay competitive and to overcome traditional business barriers, allowing them to improve processes and reach new markets. Despite the significant achievements, continuous efforts are necessary to further advance Uganda's digital agenda. When we talk about those people, you know, we are saying small SMEs. There is a way we are saying that we don't want to leave anybody behind. So when we bring them on board, I think we are moving with everybody. And it's good that the CEO was explaining that the other team is already above it. So when we emphasize about the SMEs, I think we are not leaving anybody behind. Furthermore, as we embark on this journey together, I want to emphasize the critical role that SMEs and the general enterprises play in shaping our digital future. I'm grateful our Minister, Honorable Gume, who is in charge of cooperatives that are SMEs, MSMEs, and others, is present to witness the testimonies of SMEs using digital solutions to grow. Additionally, I want to thank Huawei Technologies for their ongoing support of enterprises in Uganda. Your assistance has been crucial in encouraging these businesses to adopt digital solutions. We appreciate your commitment to supporting our SMEs. We appreciate, it is also evident from the testimonials of companies like Kasaiba, who is transforming the transport sector, and IoTech for improving on the financial services, that these SMEs are pivotal in crafting our nation's digital future. I'm glad that we are going to officially launch the additional support Huawei is giving to more SMEs for the next 5 years. I encourage all the SMEs to reach out to ensure they tap into this support within the next 5 years. I'm aware Huawei has supported 7 SMEs so far for the past 2 years since they started the SME support program, and they are willing to take up more. Maybe what I want to say before we launch this program, we need a lot of sensitization. We need a lot of sensitization, because if you talk about these SMEs, these are the people mainly in our rural places. You should educate them. We should sensitize them so that they don't see this cloud as that cloud. You know? When we talk of a cloud, we are seeing the other cloud. I was talking to one person before I came, then he said, but you know, we have the iPhone cloud. But iPhone cloud also, again, it disturbs us. What of this one? I said, I think this is a different one. It's not the iPhone cloud. Then, as if it was a debate, I have a daughter who has also done ICT. So she was saying, no, Mom, you know, this cloud is different. She was trying to educate me about the cloud so that I'm not like the other politician. I said, you know, you have many words. Leave me and I go. Maybe I'll get more understanding about this cloud when I'm the other side. So since we have just started this, maybe we've been using it without knowing, there is a lot more to do about this cloud, so that people are secure, as people, you know, they are well conversant with it, and they use it to enlarge their businesses and to expand them. So it is not an easy job, but I know it is something that we need to take time and go there. Instead of mainly, if we stay in these rooms, if we stay here, it takes us time. But we need to go out. Let us try our best. Managing Director, please, we are requesting, we need to go out so that we don't stay in these rooms. You know, in these rooms, these people here, within one day, they are well conversant with the cloud. But our people outside, it might not be the case. So let us push let us get people who can go out and train them so that the businesses are worked on. I would like to highlight the significant role of the Belt and Road Initiative in advancing the social and economic development of Africa, particularly Uganda. The Chinese companies are making substantial contributions, not only in processing and manufacturing, but also in the science and technology, construction sectors. For instance, Huawei Technologies has enhanced connectivity across Ugandan government entities with innovations like the 5G, supporting the development of the national backbone infrastructure. Additionally, we have SINOC, which is aiding the expansion of the oil and gas sector, while other Chinese companies are involved in constructing roads, dams, building stadiums, airports, including network projects like the Entebbe Express Highway, the expansion of the Entebbe International Airport, construction of Simba Dam, government buildings such as the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and many others. So we need to thank them. They are here and they've really done a lot for us as a country. Let us give them a hand clap. As I conclude my remarks, let us all acknowledge that our collective achievements strengthen businesses, including SMEs. Together, we can forge a future where Huawei Cloud becomes a key player, harnessing the full potential of cloud technology. I think you are going to give me time either and I launch, or there is something I touch before I launch, I don't know. But I will say, for God and my country, maybe that opportunity will come where I'm launching. Thank you. I remain Nakadama Rukia Isanga. I'm a girl from eastern part of the region, where we've been working with this team, and our sister, this is sister of mine. She has been in Musoga so much, and she's a Musoga. She's a Chinese Musoga. So she has done a lot of work. And I have another sister here, whom I should also introduce, my sister Susan. She's my OG. We've been together in a great school. Do they know the school where you went? I think they should know, since we are here and we have, now we are the only two. That is Nabisunsa. She has been working so hard, like the Nabisunsa girls do. Really, thank you so much. I've been watching, wherever you have been watching you. Thank you so much for putting the school up there. With those few remarks, I thank you for God and my country.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Rukia Nakadama. Okay, thank you very much. The Right Honorable Rukia Nakadama, for your remarks. We are really grateful for your presence and for each one of you here. Next on the agenda, I'm going to also invite my colleague Marvin to come up to hype us up, because we are going into a very important phase of this program where we are going to launch the Huawei Cloud Startup Program. And I'll ask my colleague Marvin to also briefly let us know what is going to happen in this program. Marvin?
Okay, just in brief, today we have heard a lot from very important people today. And mainly, just as to give us a brief, we have seen the insights of what cloud is, how cloud is, and how cloud can and is currently helping the SMEs to develop, and how us as Huawei can also be better in terms of supporting SMEs with cloud development. So today we are going to launch our cloud startup right here, and we would like you to join us in launching this.
Okay, thank you very much, Marvin. So up here you can see 8 different hands, and I would like to call up the following people to come up and launch with us. The Right Honorable Rukia Nakadama. Please, let's give them a round of applause as they come up. Please,
on the first
on
one
that
over
side.
there. Yes.
I'm going to call up the people who
No,
are
here,
going on
right
that
here.
other side.
Right here, please. Yes.
This, the very first one here. Then we'll have Honorable Gume Frederick on this other side, the very first one this side. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you. Then we'll have Mr. Sunrise, the Huawei Managing Director, Uganda, to stand on the other side. Then we will have Mr. Jacob Young to come up on this other side, on the side of on the side of Honorable Gume. Then we will have Madame Susan Insibira from Nation Media Group to come on the side of Jacob. And then we'll have Mr. Kin Karisa to go on the side after Mr. Sunrise. Then we will have Mr. Alan Zinga to come on the side where there is Madame Susan. And we will have Mr. Sewanyana Yusuf from the Uganda Police Force to stand at the extreme end after Mr. Kin Karisa. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, so just ask that you place your hands on the screen. Thank you. Okay. I think so much. We go down. We go down. Okay. So on the count of 3, we are going to launch the Huawei Cloud Startup. Just a moment, please. Please, just a moment. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. We want this to be a good moment, so let's go. We're just going to count from 3 to 1, and yes, together. So please join in. Okay, please, the DJ. 3, 2, 1. Huawei Cloud. Thank you so much. Please stay there for a picture. Okay, please stay here for a picture. Hi. And immediately after this, we will be having a group photo. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Immediately after this, we will be having a group photo. We invite all the panelists we had at the panel discussion. Please come forward here and join in, and we have a group photo.
Can we please have all the panelists and the moderator quickly to just have a group photo? I'll kindly request the guests to pull up at the front a bit, just a bit, so that we can create more space. Please, let's come up for a group picture.
We can remove them.
Can we? Okay. Okay, are we set for the group picture? Please set us. Okay, one more group picture, please, because the general public here, there are some people who really want to be a part of this, because we know once we are done with this, people are going to sing anthems and leave. So those who would like to join this picture, this is your chance. Please, let's come up and take one final group picture, and we can call this a day before we close with anthems. So please, may we have the MTN team? Nita Uganda, you're here seated. The Tubayo team that I'm seeing here. Ride Link, you're all there. Campanity. Can we please come up right now because of time? We need to save time. TA, the team from I3C, can we please have one group picture? Please, let's make it snappy. I don't know if the Safe Border team is still here.